So, you're about to dive into the world of artificial intelligence. Welcome! If you're a first year AI student, you have come to exactly the right place. Think of this as your very first guided tour of the huge and honestly fascinating landscape you're going to be exploring for the next few years. And just look at this. It really is its own world, isn't it? It's sprawling, it's complex, it's absolutely brimming with potential. You are standing right at the beginning of this road, and your academic adventure, well, it starts right now. So let's begin our tour. All right, so for our first stop on this tour, we've got to get our bearings. Let's map out the territory and really nail down what we mean when we talk about artificial intelligence. Okay, so the first thing you absolutely have to get is that AI isn't just one single thing. It's this huge, super ambitious field, and the main goal? To build computer systems that can do stuff that, up until now, has really required a human brain. Things like learning, solving problems, and making decisions. And this image right here, I mean, it just nails the whole idea, doesn't it? The goal isn't just to make machines that can crunch numbers really fast. It's about trying to give them something like our own cognitive functions, the ability to learn, to adapt, to actually grow from experience, just like we do. Okay, so if AI is this whole new world we're exploring, what's actually making it all run? What's the engine? Well, for our next stop, we're heading right into that engine room, machine learning. This is where the magic really happens. This is the learning part of AI. Instead of a programmer having to write rules for every single possibility, which would be impossible, machine learning lets us just dump a ton of data into a system and let it figure out the patterns for itself. It's really the key that unlocks the whole adaptive part of AI. So how does it actually learn? Well, it basically happens in three main ways. First, you've got supervised learning. Think of that like studying with an answer key. You give the AI examples that are already labeled. Then there's unsupervised learning. Here, you just give it a giant, messy pile of data and say, go find the interesting patterns, kind of like a detective. And finally, you have reinforcement learning, which is a lot like training a dog. The AI learns through trial and error, getting a virtual treat for making good decisions. All right, we've been in the engine room. Now let's head up to the comm center. We've got this super powerful intelligence, but how does it actually talk to us? How does it understand what we're saying? Well, that is the job of natural language processing. So, NLP, think of it as the ultimate translator. It's the bridge between the super complex, rigid world of computer code and our messy, kind of weird, nuanced human language. The whole point is to get machines to read, understand, and even spit out text and speech that actually makes sense to us. And here's the crazy part. You are using this stuff all day, every day, and you probably don't even think about it. Every time you ask your phone for directions, when you use a translation app to figure out a menu on vacation, or even when a news site gives you a quick summary of a long article, yep, that's all NLP doing its thing. Okay, for our next stop on this tour, let's head up to the observation deck. We've covered how AI learns and how it communicates, but how does it see? This is where we get into the absolutely incredible domain of computer vision. So, in pretty much the same way that NLP teaches computers our language, computer vision teaches them to understand the visual world. It's the science of taking what is basically just a sea of pixels from a camera and turning it into a real, meaningful understanding of what's actually in a scene. I mean, this field is behind some of the AI breakthroughs you hear about all the time. So let's do a quick breakdown of four key tasks that you're going to be studying. These are basically the building blocks for how a machine learns to see. First up, image classification. Super simple concept at its core. It's all about answering one basic question. What is this a picture of? It's that fundamental skill of just identifying the main subject, whether that's a cat, a car, or even something as complex as a cancerous cell in a medical scan. All right, next up is facial recognition. This gets a little more specific. It's not just asking what's in the picture, but who. It's all about mapping those unique facial features to identify a specific person. And yeah, this is what's used for everything from unlocking your phone to high-tech security systems. Then you have object detection. This is absolutely crucial for an AI to navigate the real world. It doesn't just say, there's a car. It says, the car is here, by drawing a little box around it. It can do this for multiple objects at once, which is exactly how a self-driving car can see a pedestrian, a cyclist, and a stop sign all at the same time. And finally, we've got video analysis. This brings in the dimension of time. Now we're not just looking at a single picture,
We're analyzing a sequence of them to understand actions and events. Think of it as knowing the difference between a person just walking down the street and a person running.
Okay, so let's recap. Our AI can learn, it can communicate, and it can see. So, what happens when we give it a body? What happens when it can actually interact with the physical world? Well, for that, we're heading down to the factory floor to talk about robotics.
Right. This is the moment AI literally steps out of the computer and into our world. When you mash up AI with robotics, you get machines that can do way more than just repeat the same programmed motion over and over. They can actually see their environment, they can make smart decisions on the fly, and they can act with real autonomy. And the impact of this? It's huge. I mean, in manufacturing, you're talking about incredible efficiency and precision. In something like disaster recovery, you get way better safety by sending robots into places that are just too dangerous for people. The bottom line is, it leads to lower costs, better results, and a whole new wave of innovation.
Okay, as we start to wrap up our tour, let's look out at the horizon because this is the future that you as the next generation of AI specialists are going to be building. But you have to know, the path forward isn't just about cool new opportunities, it's also about some pretty heavy responsibilities. And this is something you've got to understand right from day one, this duality. On one hand, you had this incredible power to revolutionize healthcare, to speed up scientific discovery, to completely change education. But on the other hand, you will have to wrestle with these massive challenges, things like algorithmic bias, huge privacy concerns, and the real-world impact of job displacement. Your entire career is going to live right at that critical intersection. And that's it. That's the end of our little intro tour. But for you, this is just the beginning. You're not just students walking into this new world anymore. You're the next generation of its architects. You're being handed the tools. The map is being drawn right in front of you. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about as you start your journey. What will you build?